There are two ways we can go about crafting our New Year's resolution. And this year, entering into 2020, is really special because it's not just a new year, it's a whole new decade. It's a whole new block of 10 years for us to begin to tune into and consider the qualities that we want to cultivate. And so, let me break down these two different ways that we can consider and think about our New Year's resolution. So, the first one being what people typically and standardly do, which is a resolution that tends to be a little more action or results oriented. So, for example, I want to lose 10 pounds this year or in the next couple of months. I want to start biking every day. I want to get back into making art. I want to cook for myself more often. These sort of results oriented, action oriented goals that we set for ourselves. And these are really important. Yeah, let's say these goals are like this one layer to our resolution or our intention, which is really a word that I like to use more than resolution. But then there's this whole other layer beneath it, and actually many, many layers beneath that surface level desire or goal of what it is that you physically and tangibly want in this material world. Okay, so that's where most of us stay with our resolutions, and we stay here, and that's often why our resolutions tend to fail when we just stay here in this surface level realm. I mean, I think it's sad that most people stay with their resolution for like 3 weeks before giving up on it again. And the reason isn't because we're not capable of making these changes, but that we're not tuning into like the deeper energetic desire behind that more physical material desire. So when we work down to this next layer, my question for you is, what is it that desire will actually deeply give you? So let's stay with this desire around losing weight. That's a really common one for the new year. People want to shed some pounds. And more often than not, that desire comes from actually a self-deprecating place of not actually loving our bodies, not actually loving ourselves for who we are, but wanting to really change ourselves. And when the resolution or the desire comes from that place, it creates this internal environment where we're at war with ourselves. So let me break that down even more. We have one part of ourselves that wants to look, be, feel a certain way. Another part of ourselves that feels differently from that. And then these begin to create conflicts within, which results in kind of this big swing back and forth where we're like, I'm going to really, really stick to my diet or working out or only eating certain foods now, and then all of a sudden swinging to the complete opposite realm of like binge eating and not getting off the couch for 3 days. So it can create these pretty exaggerated swings back and forth when we enter resolution or intention from that place. And so if we go back to that quality of losing weight, what is it that is actually going to give you? And you want to start asking yourself this to see if, first of all, that material goal is actually something that's necessary. I know a lot of people who have the goal to lose weight who don't necessarily even need it, but have this internal feeling of never enough. Internal feeling of not being worthy. Internal feeling of not being able to ever receive or hold on to really anything. Always wanting to shed things, push things away. So that's one part of it. And the other aspect is, yeah, maybe that is a good goal for you, that weight loss. But what is it that that's actually giving you? Some examples of this are increased confidence, sensation of freedom, health, longevity, deep connection to your body, and a feeling and experience of self-value. Okay, so can you see how we're just taking it down to another level? And you can kind of keep doing this practice of paring it down until you get to this really core place of like, oh, that's what I actually want. So, for example, weight loss. What does that actually give me? Feeling of confidence. Well, what does the feeling of confidence actually give me? Deep connection to myself. And that might feel like, oh yeah, that's actually what I really, really want, is to feel deeply connected to myself. And so that deep core intention or desire, the deeper desire, will ripple out in many, many different areas of your life, including the health of your body, your mind, your spirit, work, relationships, and so on. When we're working from the contracted, limited place of simply superficial desires, we're missing the full story. We're negating our deeper soul's truth. We're focusing on one hyper-contracted, pretty much like this contraction is a form of the stress response. So anytime we have this contracted view of, oh my gosh, I really want this, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, and I'm just really holding on to it, we're in the stress response. And then when we're able to reach a more expansive, wide-angle, eagle-eyes view of our life and our desire, we can actually begin there. And working with that inner feeling, cultivating more of that quality in your life is going to ripple out and create change in every single other aspect. So really, it's not a practice of negating your physical desires or your physical goals. Those can exist. And in fact, we use those to help trace our way down to the deeper desire, the deeper goal. But once you reach that deep-seated need within your body, and you will feel it. You'll feel when you reach that place. And I recommend doing this practice, journaling or out loud, however you need to. But once you reach that deep, deep place, and tune into how you can feed more energy into cultivating that, it's going to naturally create shifts on the physical level of things. So that's what I encourage you to do as you step into this new year, is to not just focus on this is what I want, but focus on why you want it. What is going on deeper? I hope this is helpful for you. It's a great practice, not just for this next year, but you might even consider the next 5 or 10 years, since we're entering such a big shift into the 20s. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon. Happy New Year. Namaste.